What's up, guys? Today is super exciting day because we finally received our performance springs for the Model 3 Performance, the Highland Model 3 Performance. So these springs actually are 10% stiffer than the factory spring rate in the front, and it ranges anywhere from 40% softer to about 10% stiffer in the rear. So these springs, they're progressive in the rear and linear in the front. These springs will actually be conducive to going and hitting the track or having some fun runs. We do have our comfort springs, which are published on the website. Those things are softer than factory. They adapt really, really well to the factory dampers. And I would imagine that, to my knowledge, every other spring on the market currently are actually comfort springs. This is the first set of springs that were actually designed specifically for performance-oriented functions on the Model 3 Performance Highland. So let's get these things installed. I don't even know what the ride height's gonna be like. I know what we want it to be. Granted, these are brand new, so they will settle over time, but it'll be really exciting to get them in the car, go for a drive, see what the final ride heights are with our alignment settings. Again, this is Tim's car behind me. We've got MPP camber arms, we've got MPP front upper control arms. We're gonna get everything back to kind of a factory alignment setting, get rid of all of his track alignment, which we may have already done. I'll have to see exactly how many shims he's got up on the front upper arms. But if we're at full shims, 18mm shim stack, then this thing will be perfect. We will throw on my very streetable 19.9.5 Aspira Force AF10s on this vehicle with some 265/35/19 so that we can show you guys the actual finished product, all lowered on our ZEV Performance springs. We've also got bump stops included with it. So super, super awesome, super, super excited. Let's get these things on the car and go for a drive. Let's go. All right, guys, check it out. Performance springs and bump stops are in. We've got a pretty decent drop. We got 30mm out of the front, so we're down to about a little bit more than a 1-finger gap in the front. It totally leveled out the rear of the vehicle too. So if you don't remember, these cars come with a forward rake. So the rear is about almost a 1/2 inch higher than the front, but now it's totally level, which is awesome. For us, for aesthetics, this is great. Now keep in mind, these springs may settle over time, so it's a pretty decent drop. It might be too low for some of you guys. If that's the case, you can always look at the comfort springs, or maybe we'll come out with another set of springs that will actually be a little bit higher, get us to around that 2-finger gap that we really, really like. But without further ado, let's get in the car. Don't forget, we do have MPP camber arms on this vehicle, and we will share the alignment specs with you with your purchase of springs from us. But yeah, let's get in the car. Let's go take it for a test drive and see how it feels. All right, guys, so we just got in Tim's car, got the performance springs on it. We are going to start out in standard for ride and handling. Tim's actually already driven it home last night. I did test drive it yesterday briefly and was quite impressed. I can tell you right now that the rear feels softer and smoother than factory. The front still retains amazing turn-in because of the linear rate springs. And being that the rears are progressive, it really smoothens out the rear end. You can really kind of set that rear end up, get it to squat and turn in. It is a pretty healthy drop, so it's about 30mm in the front and 40mm in the rear. It did result in a 1-finger gap, and that is right out of the box before any settling has occurred. So usually over time, springs will settle in. So, I wouldn't say that, if you're really worried about or not used to driving low vehicles, these may not be the springs for you. You may want to go for the comfort springs. They'll be maybe about a 1/2 inch or so higher than this. Like I said, I'm going to start exploring options into actually coming out with a higher set in these same spring rates. So stay tuned for that. We will see what's going on. The world is a crazy place right now. And manufacturing in general is just really at a standstill at the moment. So I'm not quite sure what kind of a timeline we're looking at to get things manufactured right now. But that is something that I will put into the plans. Wow, check, man, it is really smooth over all of these kind of construction areas that we have over here in Fremont right now. A lot of new development happening. So, sewer, electrical, they've all kind of ripped up the asphalt and done patchwork, things of that sort. All right, let's see the turn. Oh yeah, I love how the rear just squats in. It just really plants so well. I will say on streets, city streets, surfaces that are not really smooth, I do believe that driving in the standard, or are you standard, is really your best bet. Sport did definitely induce some more kind of roughness in the ride. It's something I would do maybe if you're autocrossing or autocrossing on smoother pavements, let's say. But right now, I really like how it feels in standard. Feels really good. All right, let's go to sport. Let's see what happens. Definitely a lot tighter. We're not even in track mode yet. I'm not even going to be able to test track mode. You might even see a little more shake in that camera. I don't know. Yeah, I would say sport's not really it for me. Let's go to standard and let's go through some turns here. See how it... I just really love how you can turn into it, get it to squat, and grab its line. Feels really good. For lowering springs, phenomenal. Now we are on 19.9.5s. We're running a 265/35/19 tire. That is basically the same tire diameter as the front tire. Maybe it's slightly smaller on a Highland Performance. We have a little dip right here. Oh, it just took that super smooth. So I have not experienced any like odd bouncy feelings like a lot of people have when they put lowering springs, especially springs this low, on factory dampers. It doesn't feel like that at all. It actually feels really well damped. And hopefully that comes across in the video with the camera. You know, it's not like you see the front end bouncing and floating or anything. We'll go wide on this. Corrective steering applied. What? Not even driving. Oh yeah, I really like it. It can hug the line. The rear end squats in. Feels really good. Just come in, go in, take your line. Oh, yeah, it feels great. Feels great. Steering I have on light right now as well. Now keep in mind, this thing does have all of the great parts from Mountain Pass Performance. So we've got the front lower control arm bearings that really improves the steering feel, makes it very direct. And we've got our poly bushings on here as well. So we've added a little bit of caster to it. Oh yeah, this feels so good. Man, this thing really turns in so good. So good. Now we are in a square setup. We have installed a larger front sway bar to prevent this thing from being overly snappy, too much oversteer. So we have really balanced out the way that this car feels. So it should be pretty similar to what you guys would experience with the staggered arrangement, the factory staggered wheels with the factory front and rear sway bars. Man, this thing feels really good in standard. Okay, let's go to sport. Take this corner. It's pretty freaking awesome, I will say. For a very, very inexpensive, low entry point to lower your Highland Model 3 performance, phenomenal, phenomenal. I don't know what pricing is going to look like here in the near future, but right now they're around $350 for the springs plus shipping. Mountain Pass rear camber arm is compulsory. You have to get a camber arm when you're lowering your vehicle, so we can dial in the alignment, the rear camber, make your tires last longer. Oh, little, that's not bad at all in sport. Okay, let's take this. Super good. Grip's good. Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, MPP camera arms as of right now, today, $395 plus shipping. But yeah, this is a sub $1,000 package. Amazing. 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 All right, back to standard. Let's go in. Gosh, I really like the way this feels in standard. So I actually personally do like a little bit of lean. I think it helps. I just like it. I like the way it feels. You know, not too much, but I do like a little bit of lean. I feel like it allows you to set the car up, get into a corner, nice and tight. But there you go, guys. I actually need to photograph the car, so I'm going to back this baby up. We're going to do a walk around on the car in the daylight so you can see what it looks like. Check out that drop. So let's get to it. Let's do our little outro. All right, guys, check it out. We got Tim's, what he calls red rum murder. But yeah, all done. We got our performance springs on here. Check it out. 1 finger gap. The Spirit Forge AF10, 19.5, 265, 35/19. Super flush. Check out the rear. Same deal, 1 finger gap. Super even drop now. It's great. The car's level. It's great for street aesthetics and all that good stuff. Rides super good in standard mode. You go to sport mode, it tightens things up, obviously. But I do think that standard mode is the way to go on the street. And then if you want to go in some twisties, if your surfaces are smooth, I think that that would be a nice option. But for the most part, these springs in standard, amazing. But yeah, check it out. Do a walk around the car. It's a 30 mil drop in the front, 40 millimeter in the back. I've been driving lowered cars my whole life, so I don't have any issues with it. For any of you guys, I do want to warn you, you got to know what you're doing if you're going to drive this car. Usually we'll set up cars with, you know, a 2 to 2.5 finger gap for the typical Tesla owner. But to me, this thing rides phenomenally well for being how low it is. So don't forget, guys, like, subscribe, and share. Hit that notification bell for all our future videos. If you guys are interested in these springs, they are ready to ship right now in limited quantities. We'll put links in the description below. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one.